Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Shrewd. I'm the director of the Writing Center here at the University of Kentucky, and I am here today to talk to you about the Writing Center, as well as some services that are available in the hub of the library to help you in your coursework as UK students. And just a little bit about myself, I have been teaching writing at the college level since fall 2000, so longer than some of you have been alive. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So just bear with me for just a moment. The Writing Center is located in the basement of the main library on campus. The main library is the W.T. Young Library, and we're in room B108B. The Writing Center is supported by the Department of Writing, Rhetoric, and Digital Studies, or WORD, and that is my home department. And we specialize in one-on-one assistance with writing at any stage of the writing process. I do need to point out that we are not an editing service. We will help you with your writing, but we will not edit your work for you. And I just realized that I forgot to mention, if you do have questions that pop up during my presentation, please put them in the chat and then I will get to them at the end during our Q&A session. So a little bit about our consultants at the Writing Center. They are highly trained graduate and undergraduate students, and we're open every semester from the first week of classes until the last day of classes. So we are not open during breaks and we are not open during finals week because everybody who works in the Writing Center is also a student and they also have finals. We have day, evening, and weekend appointments, and all of our appointments begin on the hour and end 45 minutes past the hour. The easiest way to find our website is to just go through UK's website. So go to uky.edu and click on search, enter Writing Center, and the very first one at the top of the list is the Robert E. Hemenway Writing Center. This is just a screen grab of the search page, and you'll notice in the search box, I typed in Writing Center, and then, as I said, the Robert E. Hemenway Writing Center is the very first in the list of results. So this is our website, and if you notice where the blue arrow is down at the bottom of the page, it's pointing to an icon that says register and schedule. So you can click on that icon and it'll take you to our registration page. This is what the Writing Center looks like. It's a very warm, welcoming place. And I know you all are online students, but if you do happen to come to campus, stop on by. We do have tables in the open area in the middle, and then we also have cubicles for more private sessions. So these are the services that are offered in the hub, which is the basement of the main library, which again is the W.T. Young Library. So the hub is the home of the Writing Center and the Media Depot. The Media Depot is where you can go for help with anything related to media. So if you have to do a podcast or if you have to make a documentary, you can go to the Media Depot for help with that. And the hub is also the home of Presentation U, which is a great place to go for help with public speaking. So if you have to give a presentation and you have public speaking anxiety, you can get help with that at Presentation U. Presentation U is also a branch office of the study, which has online tutoring. So you can go to the Media Depot for help with media. You can go to Presentation U for help with public speaking and peer tutoring. And all three of us Writing Center, Media Depot, and Presentation U offer online appointments. The hub is also home to student computer labs with computers, scanners, and printers, student IT help, and study spaces for groups and individuals. For help with research, we have an excellent team of research librarians here at UK, and you can also make an appointment with them and you can do Zoom meetings. You can set up a phone appointment if you would prefer to talk to them. And it is libraries.uky.edu/ask. And actually, the easiest way to find that is to just do a search for Ask a Librarian. And the research librarians are located at the circulation desk, which is on the main floor in the lobby of the W.T. Young Library. And I just want to point out again, all you have to do is go to UK's website, click on search, and then type in Ask a Librarian, and it will take you to the page where you can schedule an appointment to work with a research librarian. The Writing Center serves all undergraduate students, graduate students, faculty, and staff at the University of Kentucky, which is over 50,000 people. Because we serve so many people at UK, we have a limit of 2 appointments per week. So everybody can schedule 1 appointment per day, up to 2 appointments per week. This limit is in place to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to get help with their writing at the Writing Center. It is a violation of our policy to submit your work under somebody else's name or account, or to allow someone else to submit their work under your name or account. And if you violate this policy, you will lose your privileges for the rest of the semester. We have 3 different types of appointments at the Writing Center. We have in-person appointments, and then we have 2 different types of online appointments. So in-person appointments are exactly what they sound like. You come to the Writing Center and you meet with a consultant who will help you with anything you need help with in terms of your written projects. This is recommended for everyone, especially for first-time clients. Then we also have online synchronous, which are video conferencing appointments. So for these appointments, you will meet virtually with your consultant. And this platform is very similar to Zoom. It's just through our own software platform. And then the third type of appointment we have is called e-tutoring. This is asynchronous and it's comments only. So what happens for an e-tutoring appointment is you submit your document, and then during the appointment time, the consultant will make comments and then upload their comments to our platform. E-tutoring is recommended for advanced writers, while video conferencing and in-person are recommended for everyone. These are the services that we offer, especially for undergraduate students. So creating and revising an outline, essays from rough drafts to final drafts, MLA, APA, and we can really help with any type of citations or using quotations. Excuse me for just a second. Getting over a cold, so my throat is a little scratchy. We can help with response papers, lab reports, the text of speeches, because before you give a speech, you have to write it, resumes and cover letters, personal statements for scholarships, internships, graduate programs, and really we can help with any written text. And I do want to say a little bit more about resumes and cover letters. So when you are working on your resumes and cover letters, you should go to the Stuckert Career Center. That's Stuckert, Stuckert Career Center. And they also have online appointments, and they can help you with drafting your resume and your cover letter. And then once you get your draft complete, then you can bring your draft to the Writing Center and sorry. Once you get your draft complete, you can bring that to the Writing Center and we will help you polish it and make it ready to send out. So hopefully, get you an interview, get you a job. And a little more about personal statements. These are for scholarships, internships, and graduate programs, which are highly competitive. I strongly recommend that whenever you're writing one of these documents, as soon as you get a draft done, just go ahead and make an appointment, send it to the Writing Center. We are happy to help you make it better so that you'll have a better competitive edge in competing for these programs. These are our services for faculty and graduate clients, and you'll notice that a lot of these are incredibly similar to the ones on the previous slide. And the reason I include this is because I want to point out that everyone can benefit from coming to the Writing Center. Your TAs come to the Writing Center, your professors come to the Writing Center. We have staff members, administrators who come to the Writing Center. So anytime you need help with writing, just please remember, come to the Writing Center. We can help make your writing stronger. Before you can schedule an appointment, you have to register as a client. So you go to uky.mywconline.com. And WC stands for Writing Center, which makes it a little bit easier to remember. And you'll see in the blue circle on the screen, it says first visit, register for an account. That is a hyperlink. So you can just click on that hyperlink and it will take you to the registration page, which looks like this. This is super simple. Just fill it out and make sure you use your UK email address. Down at the bottom, you have to create a password, and please make it something that's easy to remember. Write it down on your notebook or on a sticky note or somewhere that you will remember where it is. If you do forget your password, you can always email me and I can reset it for you. Please leave the default email preferences set, and that will enable the system to send you reminders when you have an appointment. Also, if you would prefer to get text messages as opposed to emails, you can put your phone number in the text message box. But if you would rather just get emails, then you can leave that blank. It's fine. When you're finished, just make sure you hit on complete registration. After you're registered for an account, the system is going to send you an email with a hyperlink. All you have to do is click on that link, and that will verify that you are a UK student and that your UK email address is valid. Once you have done that, you can go back to this page, which is uky.mywconline.com, and you just sign in with your email address and your password, and then click log in. And then that will take you to our scheduling page. So this is what our scheduling page looks like. The white boxes are open appointments, so you can just click on a white box to schedule your appointment. When you're scheduling your appointment, your name and the time will be auto-populated. And then all you have to do is select the type of appointment you want. So do you want an in-person appointment? Do you want video conferencing? Or do you want e-tutoring, which is comments only? Also, the system won't let you advance to the next stage until you click on one of these. So it's a built-in reminder to select the type of appointment you want. The next thing you need to do is enter your course prefix and number, your professor's name, and your college, and then explain what you would like to focus on during your appointment. If you're not entirely sure, it's totally fine to just put, I just need help with my paper, or I need feedback. But if you know what you need help with, the more specific you can be, the easier it is for us to schedule your 45 minutes so that we can make the best use of your time. So you can put, I need help with quotations, or I need help with citations, or I need help with my works cited page, or I need help with my introduction. Whatever you need help with, just put it in that box. And again, that will enable us to plan out your appointment accordingly. The next thing you need to do is upload your text as a Microsoft Word document and then select Create Appointment. If you don't already have Microsoft Word, you can get it for free from UK. If you have a UK issued iPad, all you have to do is click on the icon titled Self-Service, and then find Microsoft Word and click on Install. For computers, log into UK's software download site, which is download.uky.edu, and you can download Microsoft Office from there, and Microsoft Office includes Microsoft Word. If you need help, you can go to Student IT Help in the hub of the WT Young Library, and they also have an online service through their email. And then finally, you can export a Google Doc or a Pages document as a Microsoft Word document. So if you don't want to install Microsoft Word for whatever reason, you can still upload something as a Microsoft Word document by exporting it as a Word document. If you are signing up for video conferencing, that is the synchronous online appointment. So 5 or 10 minutes before your appointment starts, just log into the system at uky.mywconline.com and click on your appointment. A page that looks like this is going to pop up, and you'll see in the blue circle, it says Start or Join Online Consultation. That is a hyperlink. So if you click on that hyperlink, it is going to take you to a page that looks like this. This is our video conferencing platform. And the person in the picture is Professor Kratz. She's the former director of the Writing Center. And so you'll be able to see your consultant's picture in the top corner. And then in the middle, that's our whiteboard. So you can copy and paste paragraphs from your paper into the whiteboard. I recommend starting with like 3 or 4 at a time. And then you and your consultant can both see the whiteboard and you can both work on it at the same time. And then you'll notice also on the right side of the page is a chat box. So sometimes, you want to do video conferencing because you want that face-to-face interaction, but your microphone isn't working or your headphones aren't working. So you can use the chat box to communicate with your consultant that way. You can also use the chat box to share things with the consultant. And the consultant will be sharing links with you through this as well. So if you need help with commas, the consultant will talk to you about how to use commas in the correct way, and then they'll also share some links so that you can find resources after your appointment has ended. I know I threw a lot of information at you in a short amount of time, so I'm going to stop my screen share for a moment, and we'll see if we have any questions and if anything's going on in the chat. Let's see. Doesn't look like we have any questions in the chat, and there are no questions in the Q&A. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen again, and I'm going to go over a handout that I made about how to structure an essay. If you are not in the habit of doing outlines, I strongly recommend that you start now. Writing an outline makes writing your paper so much easier. I have been, teaching writing for over 20 years. I require my students to do outlines because they're just that important. Outlines are great because they help you stay on track. They keep you from going off on tangents. And like I said, it just makes it easier to work on your paper when you have a plan. So I'm going to share my screen and get us to our handout. So if you went to school in the US, or even if not, you probably learned the 5-paragraph essay format. And that is a fantastic place to start when you're thinking about structuring a paper. So the 5-paragraph essay format, we have our introduction, supporting paragraph 1, supporting paragraph 2, supporting paragraph 3, and our conclusion. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what goes in each of these sections in your papers. And then I'm going to teach you how to stretch this out and expand it for a longer essay. So what goes in your introduction? The first thing you need is a hook. A hook is something that gets your reader's attention. This could be an anecdote or an example from pop culture, really anything except for somebody else's quotation. So you don't want to start your own paper with somebody else's words, because when you do that, you are shifting the authority over to this other writer. And you don't want to do that because it's your paper. So that's the only thing you don't want to use for a hook. Anything else is pretty much fair game. So you have a hook to get your reader's attention, and you clearly state your thesis. You explain the significance of your thesis, and then you provide a brief mini outline of how you are going to prove your thesis. So in our example, I will argue that mountaintop removal mining is devastating to the Appalachian region. I will discuss the destruction of the mountains, air pollution, water pollution, and land pollution. So those would be our 4 main points in this pretend essay. So point one is our destruction of the mountains. Point two is air pollution, then water pollution, and then land pollution is point four. This brief outline goes at the very end of your introduction, and just make sure that you put your main points in order. This creates a blueprint for your reader to follow so that they know what to expect in your essay. And then what goes in a body paragraph? So first of all, when you write a paper, you have your introduction at the beginning, you have your conclusion at the end. Everything in the middle is your body. So your background is part of your body, your solutions is part of your body. So in a body paragraph, we have 1 point per paragraph. So you can't talk about two different things in the same paragraph. And if you find that you are switching gears and you're talking about something else, just do a paragraph break and start a new paragraph. So it's 1 point per paragraph. Each paragraph is roughly half a page, and that's with Times New Roman font, 12-point size, and then 1-inch margins all the way around. It's really helpful to know that a standard college level paragraph is roughly half a page. Because if you are looking at your draft and you have a paragraph that's like 3 lines long and it's super short, you can tell just by looking at it that your paragraph is not developed and you need to do some more there. On the other end of the spectrum, if you have a paragraph that's a page and a half long, that is way too long for one paragraph. So you need to find the natural breaking point. Start right in the middle. It's kind of weird how often that is accurate. Start right in the middle and see where the natural break is and just break it there. And of course, the people at the Writing Center can help you with your paragraph structure. And then you need at least one quote or example or data if you're doing a scientific paper per body. And then the basic structure of a body paragraph is you have 1 to 3 lead-in sentences, and then you have your quote or your example or your data set, and then you explain the significance of the quote or example or data, and then you transition to the next point or paragraph. And then what goes in a conclusion? So the conclusion is at the very end of your paper, and it's really, really specific. A lot of people try to put way too much information in their conclusion, and it ends up being like a page and a half long, which is way too long. So in your conclusion, you restate your thesis, you reinstate the significance of your thesis, and then you take it to what I call the next level. So in our example, I have, if only everyone understood the value of the Appalachian Mountains and the true cost of their destruction, more people would stand together to protect the mountains, the people living there, and the environment. And one really, really important thing to note, sorry, cold, is do not summarize your paper in your conclusion. Most of the time when people summarize their paper, it's because their paper's not long enough and they're scrambling. They're like, I don't even know what to say. I need another page. I'll just summarize everything. Don't do that. There are a lot of different strategies that you can do to make your paper more in depth and to add length in other places aside from writing an arbitrary conclusion or an arbitrary summary in your conclusion. And if you have like a 10-page paper due, and you only have 8 pages, that's a great time to schedule an appointment at the Writing Center. And in that little box that says, what do you want to work on today? You can just say, my paper's too short. I need 2 more pages. Please help me expand this. So now we have a basic foundation for the 5-paragraph essay. So it's easy to expand the format from there. It's the same basic structure, but instead of having 1 paragraph for supporting paragraph 1, that becomes a section. So think of it like a mini essay within your paper. So you're going to have multiple mini essays that are linked by transitions within your paper. So let's go back and just review for a second the 5-paragraph essay format. So you have your introduction, supporting 1, supporting 2, supporting 3, and your conclusion. We're taking that same basic structure and we're just stretching it out. So for our supporting 1, supporting 2, supporting 3, instead of 1 paragraph, this is a section now. So it might be a page long, it might be 3 pages long. Writing is not an exact science. Everybody's paper is going to be a little bit different, even if you're writing on the same topic. So this is what the basic outline for a longer essay looks like. So you have your introduction. We already know it goes in the introduction. And then we have our background section. This is 1 to 2 paragraphs, sometimes longer. It depends on your topic. And if you have questions about how long your background section should be, you can either talk to your professor or come to the Writing Center because we can help you with that. So in your background section, this is where you cover any definitions or statistics. Really, this is anything that your reader needs to know before they read your paper. So for example, I teach a lot of freshmen first-year writing courses, and I always have a lot of students who want to do their research project on serial killers. So the background section would be, what is a serial killer? Like, how are we defining this? Or if you're writing about green energy, your background section would be, what is green energy? How am I going to define this for my paper? So we have our introduction and we have our background section. The next thing is our main point / mini essay 1, and then mini essay 2, and then mini essay 3. Because writing is not an exact science, every outline is going to be a little bit different. Even if you are working on the same topic, because different writers are going to approach things in different ways. They're going to want to discuss different things. So you might have 4 mini essays, you might have 2 mini essays. So this is just our basic format, and you can modify it as needed. So after you do your mini essay 1, mini essay 2, mini essay 3, or however many you might have, then you have your solution section. Not everybody has a solution section, but most papers do. So going back to our serial killer example, you would not have a solution section for an essay about serial killers. You would, however, have a solution section for an essay about green energy, or an essay about the death penalty, or physician-assisted suicide. So all of those would need a solution section. And then finally, you have your conclusion. And the number of main points mini essays depends upon your project, and they do not need to be the same length. In fact, they won't be. One of them might be 2 paragraphs long, one might be 2 pages long, one might be 5 pages long. It really just depends on what you want to talk about in that section, and how long your paper needs to be. And again, we at the Writing Center can help you with outlines. We have handouts like this in the Writing Center. And you are welcome to schedule a video conferencing appointment to talk about your outline or talk about your paper, or just to brainstorm some ideas. And then finally, I want to talk a little bit about writing your essay. So I know, because I've been teaching for over 20 years, that a lot of people put off writing their papers and they end up writing them all the night before they're due. Even though that is very common, that is not a good strategy. Writing your whole paper at once is a very unpleasant experience. You will have lots of stress, you will feel a lot of anxiety, and your work is not going to be your best. So what I do when I'm teaching is I break the writing process into steps, and that's what I recommend that you do when you are working on your papers. So the first thing you should always write is your background section, because again, the background section is where you explain the terms and or the statistics that you'll be using in your paper that your audience needs to understand before they can read your essay. So start with the background section. Then you write your mini essays separately. So my students will do mini essay 1, and then the next one is mini essay 2, and then they do mini essay 3, and then they do their solution section. So just write these as little chunks, and it's a lot more enjoyable to get through writing a paper this way. Once you have all of your chunks done, then you go back and do your transitions to tie your sections together. The easiest way to look or to write a transition is to look at the last sentence of the paragraph that comes here and the first sentence of the paragraph under it. And now we need a sentence that's going to tie these together. That's how it goes. at the end of paragraph one or at the beginning of paragraph two. It really just depends on what you're talking about in each paragraph. And again, the consultants at the Writing Center can help you with transitions. The final step is to write your introduction and then write your conclusion. If you try to write your introduction at the beginning, it's going to take you about, I don't know, like an hour and a half, 2 hours. If you write it at the end, it's going to take you about 20 minutes. So it's a lot less stressful and a lot easier to write your introduction at the end because you have already written your paper. You already know what you talk about in your paper, and you can just, jot it down, then revise it, make it look nice, and you are ready to go. And of course, as the director of the Writing Center, I always recommend that people bring their drafts to the Writing Center before you submit them for a grade. We can help you make your writing stronger so that your grades will improve. Okay, I'm going to stop my screen or stop sharing. And it doesn't look like anybody has typed any questions, but are there any questions at all? Okay. Well, I am going to go ahead and put my email address in the chat. My email address is lisa.schroot@uky.edu. And I hope to see all of you in the Writing Center. And remember, we have video conferencing appointments and we also have e-tutoring, which are asynchronous and comments only. All right. Thank you for joining us today.